Yo guys, what is going on? It's Hiran, and today we'll be reading some comments that I've received on my videos. And also, at the end part, I will be talking about the most important thing when dating, or when looking for a partner. So with that being said, I did a video recently talking about why men don't want to date non-binary, and I received a pretty long comment, so I wanted to share it with you. It's from this individual called KLX Yoshi, which is a woman, as we later learn. So she says, I don't know why this is on my recommended, as I'm probably not the target audience judging by the comments, etc., but whatever. I watched and wanna throw my opinion in here. This is gonna be a long one. First off, I don't get what's so hard to understand about what non-binary is. It is an umbrella term for people that aren't part of the binary. So neither male or female. It's that simple. Well, you see, it's not that simple because, yeah, I can understand your definition, I can understand the words you're saying, but just saying that non-binary means you're neither a man nor a woman? Well, what are you then? You see? And this is when no one can give you a concrete answer, a specific answer. What are you? Because not to get political, but biologically speaking, we have two genders. And so if you're not a man, not a woman, what are you? And what can I expect from you? You see? Guys, it's as if I say that I'm neither alive nor dead. And it's that simple, guys, it's that simple. But that will beg the question, okay, so what are you then? You're not alive, you're not dead. What are you? In what state are you? What is happening? So yeah, it's not that simple. Just saying the straight Wikipedia definition doesn't mean we get all the answers. But let's keep reading. And most non-binary people don't make a big deal out of it. They just want to exist in peace. Also, most of them don't change their pronouns every 30 minutes. That's utter BS. Yeah, that was an exaggeration or a joke. I think you didn't get what I think you don't understand what a exaggeration means, but what you're probably thinking of is gender fluid. That's an entirely different topic. Most non-binary people just have fixed pronouns and don't change them. Yes, there are people out there with very specific opinions and feelings, and the things they say can be very confusing. I get that. But those are also a literal minority in a minority. I know, I never mentioned in my video that it's all the LGBT community. I perfectly understand that it's a minority within a minority. And at the end of the day, does it matter if you specifically understand what these very, very few people like? No, just don't disrespect them. Easy. About the entire thing with I don't want to date trans, non-binary, etc. Why are people mad? Those are just idiots. It's one of these cases where the few have the loudest voice. Again, I agree with you. I am aware that it's a minority. I am aware that they just make a lot of noise. I get that. Having preferences and boundaries that include not wanting to date trans people is absolutely valid and normal. For now, I guess, in most of the cases. And most LGBT people will absolutely agree with that. Again, for now. There is just that small amount of people with extreme views that don't agree, and now everyone thinks we all think like that, when we don't. The entire super straight thing is just childish though. It was purposefully made to trigger people and escalate things. It serves no other purpose. If you're straight and won't date trans people, you're still straight. So if you're a man in a woman's body, are you still a man? Because when you say that, you get backlash, right? It doesn't seem to work both ways. Let's keep reading. About that, look what someone LGBT has to say about it. I don't know this woman, and I'm not specifically talking about her, more in general, but bear in mind, there are homophobic and transphobic people in the LGBT community. They are the other side of the small yet extreme voices group. Just because they say I'm LGBT and I don't think non-binary exists, doesn't mean that's right either. Well, talking about the channel I covered, it was a channel with a pretty huge following. It was over 2 million, which is quite a lot. And bear in mind, I bet most of the subscribers are part of the LGBT community because I don't see a straight person, looking at that type of content. So I think that's a pretty huge following. And I don't know this woman either. I just covered her because I found her video while looking at, while researching for the topic, and the things she said were absolutely true, and that's why I covered her. But let's end this. To put this to an end, non-binary people are usually very chill people that won't fight anyone. Just want to live their lives and be respected just like everyone else. And not wanting to date them because of preferences is absolutely fine. Most of them won't mind, just don't be a D about it. We can all just respect each other and go our merry ways. And yes, there are people that will throw a fit about that. They like to be extreme in their opinions, but keep in mind, they're not the majority, and just don't be bothered by them. Be the bigger person and just go on with your life. Throwing a feedback won't help anyone. Okay, so if I say that, statistically speaking, a really, really low percentage of men commit, force women into S3 actual intercourse, you see what I'm talking about? Could I say that, well, keep in mind that it's not the majority of men, it's just this little tiny group that does that. Just don't be bothered. You see, I couldn't make that argument. It doesn't matter if it's a small group or a big group. I know it's a minority within a minority, I know, but still, that doesn't mean the problem is not relevant. Because you see, 10 years ago, this didn't even exist. All of this. And just 10 years ahead, we're having quite a few problems, honestly, about it. People get called haters just because they don't want to date a non-binary or whatever. You see, so the problem has escalated, and take my word for this, the problems will get more and more with each passing year. So this is why I decided to cover it, because just because it's a small minority doesn't mean we should not talk about it or care about it, and just quote-unquote not be bothered. So, we will end this comment right here. But really, thank you KLX Yoshi, because even though we have different opinions, I really liked your comment. You are chill. You didn't go out here just insulting or being a bad person. You made your points, you made your arguments. I agree with you on a lot of things. And this is the way I'd like things to go, man. I just really like when people with different opinions talk about it and share their opinions in a really cool way. So again, thank you. Now, we'll be covering this comment right here from Shadowband account. Because I am a conservative, anyone who uses these terms is 100% not a conservative. True. You can date someone with different interests, but not different values, unless you want to fight constantly. Think before you sleep. Yeah, guys, I actually was talking about this in one of my videos, but in the end I cut it, because I just didn't have the time to further develop. And yeah, I was going to talk about this, and the most important thing when you are dating, even if you're not looking for something long lasting, even in regarding, casual dates, the most important thing is for you and your partner or date or whatever to have the same either religious, either moral, or either political standings. This is the most important thing, because if you don't, you will have problems constantly. Everything will become a problem. From the smallest and tiniest little argument to the biggest problem, everything will be a living hell. So, I'm not saying you have to be exactly the same, but just have some sort of similar grounds, similar standings on these moral, religious, or political issues. Because when you have, the same view, you will solve problems, you will see them in the same light, and you will work towards the same path. If you don't, no matter how much you like each other, no matter how much you fell in love or whatever, you will break up. Okay, you will break up. So bear that in mind, guys. I cannot develop it further. I'll see you next time. Peace.